A lot to unpack from what's been an unprecedented day in British politics. So let's get straight to it. Conservative MP Sir Geoffrey Clinton-Brown joins us now. Geoffrey, welcome to you. What are you then, Team Rishi or Team Suella? Which one?
I'm Suella's policy and Team Rishi. There you are. That's sitting on the fence, isn't it?
There it is. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a fence. You eventually find yourself being rather uncomfortable with it, I guess, and you have to pick a side. But, I mean, this is a... You know, I'd said at the beginning, Geoffrey, that, you know, reshuffles are usually pretty dull affairs. We don't... You know, we hope for big things and rarely get it. But this one today was utterly seismic.
Well, if you'd put odds on David Cameron coming back yesterday, you would have got enormous odds. So it was completely out of the blue and unexpected. And your next question will be, well, what do I think about it? I actually think it's quite a good move, really, because David Cameron brings with him a wealth of experience. He will be able to challenge policies in cabinet, and I think it says a lot about Rishi Sunak that he's actually prepared to have such a big figure in his cabinet debating those policies, challenging him and his policies. And I think when it comes to the next election, we will see a Conservative cabinet full of experienced people against a possible Labour cabinet of people with very little experience. So I think then the public will have to make a decision when it comes to the next election. I also think that David Cameron is so well known around the world that he will be able to open doors in a way that nobody else in the cabinet can.
Is it not a little disconcerting, though, Geoffrey, that of all the Tory MPs, and there's hundreds of you guys there, that Rishi Sunak couldn't find one member of Parliament to be his Foreign Secretary? He had to go outside and get a retired Prime Minister on the case.
No, I don't think that's the case at all. I think what you do as Prime Minister when you're choosing your cabinet is to choose the best talent you can possibly get. And I think, obviously, conversations were had with David Cameron, who wanted to come back into frontline politics. And I think it will add to the cabinet considerably by having his experience there.
And in terms of the remaining positions in this new cabinet, it looks... I mean, there may be some experience that it looks very establishment-like, that there's no kind of voices from outside what some people call, rightly or wrongly, the Westminster elite.
Well, I would challenge that assertion, actually, and to be honest, I mean, people like Kemi Badenoch, you can't call Kemi Badenoch establishment, if I understand your meaning of that word. So I think there is a pretty good mixed cabinet of talents in there, and I think that's what we should be asking. We want talents, as you say, from all intakes of the party, male, female, ethnic, and we've got a lot of that. And I think it's a really good mixed cabinet that is coming through at the moment.
Do you think the Conservatives stand a greater chance of retaining all of those red wall seats without Suella Braverman than they would have done if she was still there?
Well, you haven't yet asked me what I think about the swap for Suella Braverman and James Cleverly. And we will have to wait and see on James Cleverly's performance, because there is no doubt about it. Suella's policy on immigration were widely popular, particularly in the red wall seats. So I think we will be looking to see that James Cleverly carries on those policies and takes a hard line to reduce the votes. And hopefully this Supreme Court decision will go the right way, and we will be able to at least send a few of them back to Rwanda.
This is the Rwanda policy later this week. I think it's on Wednesday we find out what that judgment is. In terms of Suella Braverman and her position, Geoffrey, I mean, this is really all about carving out your aims to be the next leader of the Conservative Party, isn't it? That's what she's doing here. Well, it began with those comments on the marches. It was compounded with the column in the Times. There was a tweet yesterday, I think, to that effect as well. That's what this is all about.
Well, it was Suella's strength of character, which I admire hugely, that led her into trouble by making these remarks and writing that article. I don't know what her motivation is. Time will come. But what I simply am concentrated on at the moment is positioning the Conservative Party into the best possible chance of winning the next election, because I think the alternative will be far worse for the people of this country.
So you think we've got a situation now where the Conservatives have a greater chance of electoral success with this cabinet?
Well, I think inevitably you need to refresh your cabinet, and I do think you need to get all the talents you possibly can in the right places. And I do think that moving forward, Rishi Sunak's thought about this very carefully. He's slowly bringing about policies that are bringing about an improvement in all the key policy areas. And I think the likes of David Cameron will help him do that.
And in terms of reaction from your colleagues on the Green Belt, I mean, it's early days. This is all still developing, of course. Do you sense there will be real support behind Rishi Sunak from the 1922, or do you sense that he's in even more trouble than he thought?
Well, I think the next coming days, as you say, will demonstrate whether that's the case or not. I mean, it is true that I've already had 1 or 2 adverse reactions. I've had 1 or 2 positive reactions. So we shall have to see in the next few days what the reaction of the party is.
Geoffrey, thank you for your time as ever. That's Geoffrey Clinton-Brown.